This conference will now be recorded.
Oh, looks like maybe we're recording.
Right now? Yes.
Oh, it says pause recording.
Look in the
This conference will
See the
now
upper
be recorded.
red dot up there.
No.
Upper left.
Oh, the square up in the corner.
Yep. That says we're recording. What's that say? Recording in progress.
All right, well, good. This is just a test, ladies and gentlemen.
This conference will now be recorded.
Is it?
It's recording.
It's recording? Good. Good evening, everyone. I'll call the Village and Town of Cottage Grove Joint Fire District Commission meeting to order. It's Monday, April 27th, 2026, 6:30 PM. We have a quorum. Everything was posted in the town and the village. Next item, public appearances. Public's opportunity to speak about any subject that not a specific, what's up?
Choose.
No audio. Oh, they can't hear.
Oh, no audio.
You can't hear?
No audio? They can't hear us? Come on.
Go to.
What's that?
Go to.
No, I would just,
I
yeah.
gotta know how to work this.
We're not muted.
Or no video, maybe?
I'm sorry.
Hold on. You can hear there's no video online on the meeting room.
They can hear but can't see?
Yes, that's what's going on.
Well, that's not the worst thing in the world. As long as they can hear us, I think it's gonna be.
Try going down there to camera.
Camera looks like it's on.
Somebody say something.
No, they can hear us apparently, but
They can't talk or what?
no, you can't see us.
Now just go down and click that camera again. It'll come back on.
Oh, what about the share? Can't turn that on? Me neither.
I don't hear him talking.
Well, if everybody can get by with audio only like good old days, I think we'll continue.
That's
Yeah,
good.
you said they could hear us, right?
Yep, you're good
Okay.
with hearing.
Can they talk to us?
What's that? They'll be able to talk, we just can't see
Is
us.
there, you'd think somebody would say something?
They're muted right now. Their mics are.
Oh. Okay. that's
Now
good.
that pause is on.
Paul, you can hear us, correct?
I can hear you. I just miss all of your smiley faces.
That's last month when I was on,
Jeez.
right?
Yeah.
I do thumbs up for my notes and stuff.
That's good.
Is our volume up? Because usually
Made it
you're
work.
being recorded. Oh,
Yeah, says we're recording.
I messaged Paula and she said she can hear us.
She can hear?
Yes.
Oh,
Apparently she can't talk to us. huh?
all right. Well, make a command decision, we're gonna press on. We're gonna fly blind. All right, again, number 3, public appearances, the public's opportunity to speak about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. Excuse me, nothing. Next item, number 4, discuss and consider the minutes from our March 23rd, 2026 meeting.
Approval of the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
I'll abstain.
Oh,
Sorry.
one abstention, 5-0 and 1. That's quite all right. Number 5, Chief's report.
Alright, currently sitting at 39 total staff. Breakdown is 9 officers, 3 driver operators, 21 firefighters, 3 probationary, 1 explorer, 1 chaplain, and 1 honorary. Department's currently at 109 calls for service as of 4/22. An average of 0.97 calls per day. If that were to continue, you'd be around 355 at the end of the year. Breakdown of calls is 27 for the town of Cottage Grove, 17 for Pleasant Springs, 44 for the village, Cottage Grove, and 21 mutual aid. Couple different charts there for you guys to look at. Apparatus info, Center one had a bad water gauge on it. They're still waiting for it to come in to replace it. Fire vent prop is scheduled to be delivered on 4/26, which it was. Training on the new prop with the manufacturer will be tomorrow, 4/28. Training for March was wildland suppression and control, and training on extrication tools and airbag equipment. Training for April will be EVOC, emergency vehicle operations course. Leadership met with PAA earlier in the month to discuss questions they had about the department. That was on 4/3. And the department lost 1 member in April due to a medical issue. Staff milestones, Dawson Kozlowski with 4 years, Eric Severson with 30 years, Joel Hammond with 48 years, Michael Lundin with 3 years, Patrick Buckles with 2 years, and Ryan Greendeer with 5 years. And then there's the staff roster. And then new to the report is everything beyond that. This is just a breakdown of the different types of calls, because you guys had some questions last month and you were curious about more information on what the calls breakdown is. So first section is the full district, what percentage each one of those calls makes up for the whole district. The next section is Pleasant Springs. I'm sorry, the next section is Town Cottage Grove, then Pleasant Springs, and then the Village of Cottage Grove. So just a comparison of what the actual percentage is for all these calls, because the pie charts are kind of generalized. They're broken down by how nearest breaks out the categories, but the charts or the information below is more detailed as to what comprises those titles on the pie chart.
Is it non-emergency more this last month, or
I mean,
I don't have the one from the month before, but you got the green?
is
that bigger than normal?
Did that go up for the month?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did.
we've had a few, yeah.
That's a big part of the pie chart.
Yeah, hopefully the new ordinances will help
Yeah,
bring some of that
Hopefully.
down a little bit,
it'll
hopefully.
take a while to do it.
Yeah,
Well, you had said the goal for the new ordinance changes was a reduction by at least 50%.
I guess I don't know what the actual percentage is gonna be, but the more we can get it down, the better, I would say. So if we hit 50% reduction, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, well, that would be. You get quite a few medical.
Yes.
Is that
yeah.
because you get there first, or?
It's We're just being requested more. That's basically what that breaks down to. So, we automatically respond to anything like a pulseless non-breather echo level response that we're automatically assigned to that. But anything above and beyond, then it's a special request from Deer Grove, and they request us either for a driver or for lift assists. And those have been kind of on the rise for the last few years.
So how many people for like a lift assistance, for example, I mean, so Deer Grove, they have how many EMS and then they're requesting,
So they typically run 2 on their ambulance. Sometimes they have a third if they have a trainee or something special for the day, like an extra volunteer. But if they're requesting us, and typically they get a car with one officer in it, and then they get the brush truck, which can have up to 4 people on it. So they could be getting an additional 5 people from us.
But so if there's, give me this again, if there's a medical emergency and that's all it is, you guys have to show up?
They're not calling us for every call. It's just like they're specially requesting us. is what
Okay.
they are.
Okay.
Like I said, there's still some where we're automatically called for, which is like a pulseless non-breather or choking. We're automatically assigned to that just because of the nature of it. But anything above and beyond that, it's special requests. They get on scene, they determine that they need more help, more resources, whether the patient needs extra medical care at the back, or the patient they need help carrying the patient to the ambulance. They make a determination, then they call us.
Okay.
for help.
How can you determine a malfunction alarm?
When we get there, if we check basically like, so if it's a fire alarm, we walk in, there's no smoke, nothing burning, then the alarm malfunction, what we're calling it. And same with a carbon monoxide detector. So anytime we're paged out to a fire alarm, we carry a CO detector and we check the whole building for CO at the same time to make sure that being paged out, they might call it a smoke detector, but it might actually be a CO detector. So we check both. And if we find no CO and no smoke, then we classify it as a malfunctioning detector. Unless it was like it burnt food, then obviously it worked correctly. It just was set off on accident.
Just went off on its own, so to speak?
Right, like it was activated because there was smoke, because they burnt food.
Well,
Then we get there, there's no smoke, but they told us, hey, we were cooking and we burnt food.
okay.
That could be.
That's enough.
A lot of those malfunctioning alarms are because of battery issues
Yeah.
or because of a detector that's over 10 years old.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, they age out typically 7 to 10 years, depending on the manufacturer.
Yeah.
When they hit their age out, a lot of them will throw a diagnostic code. It's cheap, it chirps, and then you're supposed to flip the detector over and read what the chirps mean. Most people don't. They hear chirping and they go, well, there's an issue, so they call the fire department.
Oh.
So,
We'll go on scene and we'll still run all of our tests with our gas monitor and our CO detector. We'll do all of that as kind of a check.
Yeah.
And then we'll look at the detector and read the back of it and listen to the beeps, and then we'll hand it to the homeowner and provide some education on what the detector does and what those beeps mean, and tell them that their detector's over 10 years old.
Okay.
So that's malfunction, not a good intent, or I guess how do you differentiate between, because I mean, to the homeowner, they thought they might have had.
We'll classify that as a malfunction.
About 2 weeks into our very first home ownership experience, the carbon monoxide detector went off, and of course we called because we're brand new to owning a home and didn't know what to do. So our basement had just flooded the week before that too, which probably helped cause things. It was quite the rough start to home ownership.
and honestly, when we respond to something like that, most homeowners are pretty apologetic, but we tell them it's better to be safe than sorry. Like, we'd rather you call us and find out that there's nothing going on than you assume that nothing's going on and something really was, and then somebody gets sick or hurt. So it happens sometimes.
Thank you for putting this breakdown in our packet.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I think it's really helpful to see the data closely, so thank you.
Anything else from anyone? All right. So,
Yeah.
okay. Number 6, update on revising the town and village ordinances regarding false alarms.
But the town, we're all set, correct? I mean, we went through and approved our ordinance and everything. So I mean, we're on the move.
The village approved their ordinance change already too, so both. of them have
Oh,
done that.
okay.
You guys did? Oh,
On April 6th.
April 6th.
sorry to get you here. I was unaware.
It was under law enforcement because it came through that committee also, so that's where we approved. It might have, if you were looking for it under our fire.
Yeah, I, like I said, so I
Yeah.
didn't see anything specific, so I threw it on there and not the, I'd rather have it there and not need it than need it and not have it, so. That's one we can cross off the books forever,
Yep.
hopefully.
Mhm.
So where are we with the educational materials? Are they available? Because we have, everyone's kind of grandfathered in until January 1st, right?
Yeah.
But we want to be, I mean, if we had 10 in the village, have we started the education, because this is educational based?
You mean like educating on, in the future, they're gonna have to get a permit for their alarm system? I think we're still working on putting something together. Yeah, we'll try to get something quickly. The more time they have to know, the better. So,
Kind of sounds like you educate on the go, according to April, you know, show back the.
We do a lot of education
Mhm.
on the go as the alarm comes in. Right now, we obviously have the false alarm material on the website, which I think we'll end up utilizing a lot of that language to create something that'll go out to homeowners as they're registering their systems annually. I think that content will probably be used to help build something.
Happy to work with you to create the material.
Just as long as, yeah, there's someone that's
I think
responsible for making that with a deadline or something, just so we make sure that homeowners have it.
I think we'll have to work with Inga. Is it Inga? Maybe, yeah, we'll have to collaborate with Inga and whoever puts together the homeowner packet with the village.
And maybe our fall guide, village info guide with all the programming and contact people would be another good spot for that too.
would this committee like to see whatever's put together before it gets sent out? Or just,
I don't think
I
so.
really, what, do you guys? I
I
mean,
think it would be nice just to know what it says.
Yeah, maybe we don't have to vote on it or something.
Yeah,
so we.
Yeah, well,
Just an FYI.
I know the village
we just
has-
don't have the calls that you guys do in the village, you know, compared to most everything is in the village. I think on this list, there's one in the town. So we'll put it on our, you know, end of the year thing too.
I guess we have a lot of different communication methods, and it would be helpful if you just worked with Inga on what you want and how to disperse that information, so we're not guessing at that.
okay.
anything else? Next item. Discuss and consider joining a consolidation study. First one, fire and EMS consolidation information from 2/26.
So this got put on, we were approached by the chief of Oregon Fire Department. And he's also the president of the Dane County Fire Chiefs right now. And they asked us if we'd be interested in participating in something like this. They also sent it recently to the admins, which I believe Matt Easy was happy on, so I think Matt's gonna go to a meeting about that in May to discuss it. But it was brought to us, asked if we want to participate. For the interest of disclosure, we brought it to you guys, so you guys can review what they're doing. Basically, it's Fitchburg, Oregon, Verona, Stoughton, McFarland, possibly Monona. We're all talking about consolidating into one fire EMS district. They think there's potential to save cost and share funds by doing that. Us as a fire department, we don't have an opinion on it one way or another. We just wanted to bring the information to you guys so you're educated as to what's out there and what we're being asked. There is a cost to participate in it. I don't know what the cost is. It's based on the size of your district, so you have to reach, if you're interested in participating, you have to say you're interested, then they'll give you a quote based on the size of your district as to what your cost would be.
This is just to talk about it?
This is to study how feasible it is for you to join.
So basically, the whole east side of Dane County,
Correct.
So
And so, yeah.
south and east.
And now they're studying right now. So I guess the one thing I would say is like, if any of those municipalities don't participate, there's going to be a big gap somewhere. So let's say that Stoughton, or let's say that McFarland, or I'm sorry, Fitchburg, Verona, and Oregon all do it, but Stoughton and Oregon, or Stoughton and McFarland do not, then we wouldn't really touch the district anywhere. So when it could, to consider consolidating, there would be no connection point to that district, so it might not be feasible. But if they all did it and they were touching our district, then there would be a potential that it would be feasible. I don't know how cost effective it would be. That's what the study would tell you.
Well, we're talking about something that, you know, we got a system that works. And we're gonna fix it. Yeah, this is ridiculous, in my opinion. I just don't get it. I read all the stuff here and I just don't understand it. I could see being in with one other, you know, Deerfield or something or whatever, you know, but I just don't, I don't understand it.
You know, part of my concern is just the sheer geographics of everything. You know, how far is the west side of the Verona's Fire District? 20 miles from here? You know, or even Oregon's a hike. You know, it seems like you've got the south and the central part of the county, you know, Verona, Fitzroy, Oregon, just because they, you know, there's a lot of close there, especially where it hits Fitchburg. Stoughton, you know, it's kind of, yeah, the western edge of Stoughton kind of sort of does the Oregon thing. Stoughton, we have more in common with Stoughton, I think, than potentially Oregon does. You know, and obviously we have a good rapport with Deerfield. Me personally, and I'll 100%, I just soon stay away from Sun Prairie. And us, I mean, it's, if, you know, to me, when I saw and read this, I'm thinking of LA County Fire.
Yeah.
Where, you know, from the TV shows and how big, and you've got one big chief over the whole idea. But again, these are all career firefighters and paramedics and EMTs and all support personnel, whereas most of us are all volunteer. And, you know, I'd almost say, let's finish up one study and get that implemented.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know, that more closely aligns with what, you know, we're all kind of on the same page with. And then if it looks like it's gonna go through over there, I mean, it's not like, if I read it correctly, it's not like the whole mutual aid thing is gonna go away if we don't join the consortium, if one actually does get created as a result of the study, years down the road here. But we're still gonna have access to our neighbors' equipment and neighbors' bodies in the event that we have something bad happen here. But it's kind of if it's not broke, let's not try and fix it. I guess it's my, and that's my 2 cents on it.
I think there's just a lot of loopholes too, financially, when it comes to like owning and the apparatus and what happens to that if there's a consolidation, how does that financially break down? What does that look like? And I read, is it Serger or Sarger's information too, and there's the staffing attrition. So the chief, promises that nobody's going to lose their job, keeping every employee while also trying to achieve labor cost savings. But is there really going to be when you don't already need to reduce headcount? But yet then if, sorry, my head is fuzzy. If the union is involved, then of course, then wages would have to be raised. There's also something I had questions about too, is hiring an in-house mechanic. I mean, that was in the report too, that's going to increase costs. So, I mean, what are we really saving here? Again, with addressing response time. So I have more questions than I think we're getting answers at the moment. And I agree with what everybody has said so far, that it seems to be working really, really well. We have a very dedicated fire chief and assistant fire chief and staff. And
why would Matt Gazy go to the meeting? This is our commission here.
So it's the
You can say it.
municipalities that have to make the decision on whether they want to join this study or not.
Well,
Not the
you aren't
commission.
gonna make the decision for you guys without us.
So each municipality has to make the decision on whether they're gonna join the study.
Huh? What I
Right,
just said,
it's-
we're one commission for the town and the village. Why would the village make their decision to be in it?
From what I understand, you guys haven't officially yet, have you?
We'll have it on our agenda for Monday to
Correct.
discuss and consider it. We have the consultant, I think, coming. He'll be virtual to give us more information and answer questions on the scope and what it would be like.
yeah, and then there's, I read too, the Matrix is, they're a national company, right? And the other one is a Wisconsin-based one. So, has Matrix even conducted a study within Wisconsin in the past couple of years or past month? Is this more of a merge hunter thing, or is it a true objective analysis of?
They did eliminate one of these people already, and I guess I wasn't aware of that,
Did
so I
they?
included it. So Matrix was the one they eliminated, correct?
We already settled with McMahon.
What's that,
McMahon
April?
is
We
already-
already settled with
There you go.
McMahon, I believe.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
They've already eliminated Matrix, so
Okay.
I should have not included that in the packet, but
That's
I just
okay.
included everything I had, so it's McMahon is the company. they went with.
McManus.
So Matrix is no longer.
Matrix out, McManus.
So this group has already gone ahead with this, about discussing it and having it.
Most of them are already engaged in it, like they've already paid to have their district studied.
Yeah, and here's Steve brought up we got the study we just approved for Cottage Grove, and now we're gonna have a study to do something different than the study that we paid for.
I think it fits the gap of looking at the external or regional, which was one of the objectives.
Okay, then what do we do with our study? Put it on hold?
No, we're finishing our study. I just sent you an
Okay,
email.
but
to
what
meet.
happens, okay, if,
I think this is feasibility information gathering. No one's making decisions.
Yeah.
no, I realize that.
Yeah, I guess
But
I said that Matt was going to a meeting, but I guess.
Also, that's not Matt's, Matt is not going to make
Matt's going to
decisions
look
on
for
it.
the
I asked him to go
information.
to get the information for the village. This isn't Matt's, initiative.
No, he was invited by the admin of one of these municipalities, actually reached out to him directly.
And he talked to me.
And-
We already found out that fire already had meetings about it. So this is getting everyone back up to speed.
Yeah,
But because everyone has joined onto the study, they are extending their deadline for us to make a decision. They wanted by the end of the month, they're giving us a little extra leeway.
So you're saying you,
So
you
I
guys,
guess,
well, wait a
just to
minute,
go
so
back
you
for-
guys could take and decide you want to be in the study?
Just
Yes.
go back for a minute. I want to clarify because I didn't explain it very well, so I don't want to throw Matt under the bus because he didn't do it. They reached out to all the admins, and my understanding is that between Cindy and Matt, they decided Matt's gonna go talk and get the information, but there's no
Unless he
commitment,
gets direction on Monday to not, and then he won't
Correct.
attend the meeting.
but there's no commitment to joining or anything like that. He's just trying to gather information. So I don't want to make it sound like Matt's going and doing something that it's already been discussed, so.
So has it been like a topic of the Dane County Fire Chiefs organization in the past, or like how?
It hasn't actually come up at the Dane County Chiefs meeting.
just heard,
It's, the current chief is kind of blurring the lines a little bit by doing that. I
Which
don't
is
know.
interesting because the terms and conditions are from November.
Correct. So they've been working on this for a little bit, but because originally Stoughton and McFarland weren't participating, there really was no feasibility to join with Cottage Grove. We would be an island by ourselves, which would make us really not any different than what we currently have.
And I think that's a really good limitation that you bring up, that if we don't have an adjoining border, it's really not gonna make sense. But on the other hand, if they all join and form this consortium, eventually we could maybe contract with them, but we wouldn't be a partner in it, is maybe one of the limitations I can think of right off
I
the
think
bat.
that's one of the things you could get if Matt meets, like if you guys decide to join later. Would you
What
be
does
a,
that look like?
would you be a partner member or would you be a contracted member? Like I said, we're not speaking in favor or against it, but I would say one of the drawbacks is if you came in as a contracted member, then you wouldn't have any rights. You would be a contracted member, so they're gonna dictate policy and costs and ownership. And at the end of the contract, they could raise the prices significantly, just like what happened in Marshall and Sun Prairie right now. They were a contracted entity for EMS. At the end of the contract, Sun Prairie raised their price to match, make it more affordable for them. And Marshall couldn't afford it. It was significant. And at that point, they had already sold all their equipment to Sun Prairie. So now they don't have any equipment that they own or staff or anything.
So what happens then?
Then you have to rebuild.
I mean, would they call
If
us or
you-
something, or?
If at the end of you would, let's say you were contracted to this district for the first agreement, and at the end of it, you would renew and the prices went way up, then you would have to decide, do you want to keep participating in that district and paying a significant increase? Or do like what Marshall's doing right now and start rebuilding, which is also very expensive because they sold their equipment for pennies on the dollar. So they lost a lot of money by doing that.
Right now, you guys come up with a budget and it comes here, we approve it or disapprove it.
Yep.
Why would we want somebody else to be involved?
That's what would happen. And I read through the feasibility study of the Fitchburg in Oregon, and I came up with several questions is that, a loophole, I guess, from my understanding, and if you can clarify, hopefully I'm interpreting this right, is that when independent departments consolidate into a district, the title for like the equipment then goes to the district, just what you're talking about. What you said happens to Marshall. So say, for example, we would decide to leave the district and we only would own like 20% of the fleet on paper, then I mean, you're essentially financially screwed. And then the governance veto power, just what you brought up too. Let's say that, the village or our JFC here, we provide like 60% of the funding, but only we have, say, 20% of voting power. The smaller towns, we can vote to increase the budget and build a new station, but that doesn't necessarily help with response. And so we're also legally obligated to share too, if just what you were saying. So
They're gonna put the resources where the most volume is.
Yes, exactly,
If cottage
exactly.
growth is smaller, then they're gonna move resources to where it's more concentrated, to where it has more benefit for the entire district.
Mhm.
Again, not speaking ill or against or for. Some consolidations work well, some don't.
Mhm.
Depends on how they're run, depends on how they're organized. There's drawbacks, there's pros, there's cons, there's everything to it. So it's, you guys gotta get the information and decide what you'd like to do. One thing I will say from that statement where it said nobody's losing their job, you're talking about consolidating 6 career fire chiefs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's only gonna be 1 career fire chief in the district, so you're already gonna be paying 5 people a career fire chief salary to not do the career fire chief job. So I find it hard to visualize where the savings would be if you're not talking about making some of the hard cuts, which is what consolidation is supposed to do, is cut duplicate
Yeah, make it easier.
resources, make it so sharing them.
But that's one thing that they'll
That's one of the,
present.
again,
If you
that's
join
one of
the
the
study, you'll-
information things that if you guys would like to go to the meeting and participate, that's what you guys would have to do. But we just wanted to make you aware of it because we were asked about it, so.
There's no question that down the way, you know, with the work we're doing right now is that, you know, sooner or later down the way, we're gonna have some full-time people. I mean, there's not much doubt. You agree with that, I'm sure also. And, and we got enough to think about for our own community here. We're moving so fast and growing so fast that, boy, to make a decision and then things could change in a year and a half if you want to be on or anything. We want to be in charge of our own entity here, you know. We don't want somebody else telling us what to do here. We still go to fires if somebody needs us.
That would be the worst case then, to have to contract with a consolidated place then.
Mhm.
It, you know, upfront, if you were actually part of the consolidation, at least you'd have some say at the table rather than being contracted, then you really have no, except for accepting or terminating a contract, that's
Yeah.
pretty much all, yeah. Just negotiate.
Well, it sounds,
Go ahead.
and sounds like once we're in, we make that move, it's a done deal. So
Unless you want to start over from scratch.
that would be costly.
About 6 years ago, and I'm a little bit foggy on the exact whole timeframe. There was, Cottage Grove belongs to the Dane County Towns Association. I happen to be on the exec committee. And subject came up at one of the membership meetings where town chairs and town boards were lamenting over the cost of maintaining a fire department, the cost of the trucks, and the possession, even having trucks that are used very infrequently. And one of the recommendations that came out of that meeting was a consolidation of sorts, not in this manner that we're all talking about here, but an agreement that every fire department in rural fire department needs a ladder truck for as little as they're used. And that was the big thing that came up, along with some specialized rescue trucks. And unfortunately, Mount Horeb got thrown under the bus because of their, you know, massive fleet of 150 trucks. It seems like I'm exaggerating, but the idea was to lessen the sheer number of some of these high-cost, low-usage vehicles, you know, would theoretically save money to everybody involved. But at that time also, everybody said in the same breath, you're never gonna find a fire chief. Well, I don't want to give up my ladder, or I don't want to give up my heavy rescue vehicle, or, you know, whatever that particular vehicle was. And so things just kind of died from there. And hearing now that some other governmental leaders are bringing this back up and have actually taken it the extra step to see about a consolidation study, you know, I think You know, it just kind of catching up with what was discussed several years ago. And I too have serious concerns regardless. We pay money to support and provide and equip our fire department. Why do I want to pay a contract fee to somebody else above and beyond what we're paying now to support other folks? You know, again, kind of like Mike says, if it's not broke, why are we trying to fix it? And then going back to our study, if we complete our study and there is a desire from the village's part, and I'm not faulting you for wanting to go listen or whatever, I think we just shelf whatever the study says for right now, because if there's a consolidation, maybe you won't need another station in the village somewhere because of the way things will get reallocated throughout. We may not have the amount of vehicles that we have right now, and the district may decide how many vehicles Cottage Grove is allocated. So I just, you know, there's a whole lot going on here, and you know, just
I don't think
hopefully.
the outcome of the study that's going on right now is gonna be build a station next year. So I think, I mean, this is still information gathering, and if anything that, you know, in the next 5 years, you know, what are we doing to ESP is probably the bigger outcome from the studies, what I'm guessing, but haven't seen a report yet.
Give me that, you said they looked, the study to have one built next year?
No,
No.
Oh, you
No.
didn't say that, okay. The study will be done, right?
I mean, the study looks 5, 10, 15 years out.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree, yeah.
But even, 5 years out is more realistic, but when we're looking at things down the road, 15 years, I don't know, that
It's a long
feels
time.
like a stretch.
But that very well might be when a facility is needed on the north side. I mean,
We have the PAA study. I agree, there is a lot going on here. See what the PAA reveals, and I'm not in favor of it.
One thing I'll say to you too, at Steve's point, well, first of all, you guys are already in a consolidated district. You're already in a consolidation because you're the town and the village consolidated in one district. So you're already technically consolidated, if you want to look at it that way. But the other side, I would say, like, to cover what Steve was talking about, that's where they're proposing some of the savings is we'll sell one of the ladder trucks because then we can cut down because we can share the ladder trucks. But what we just learned in the last ISO audit that we participated in is that the village has to have 2 engines and a ladder responding to every structure fire by definition. And it can't be a mutual aid engine or a mutual aid ladder. If it's further than 7 miles away, they don't count it. So you're gonna take a hit on the ISO score by getting rid of a ladder truck in this area. So can you really, yeah, you might save some costs, but like, is it gonna hurt your ISO score and then hurt your people that are paying insurance? Again, that's one of the things for the information, but it's something that kind of gets overlooked is that ISO has specific standards as to what has to happen at a structure fire. And that's really all they look at is structure fires. They don't care about car accidents or really anything else other than structure fires. But that is a requirement for most of the buildings in the village is 2 engines and a ladder. And we were trying to count our automatic aid to help for the ladder quicker. And they said if it's more than 7 miles away, it doesn't count, which we didn't know. So now our response plan has changed to accommodate that. But it's just one thing to think about. Another thing that maybe get more information on, see how that would play out for if they're gonna get rid of a ladder here, or if they're gonna get one in one of the other communities, are they gonna take a hit by doing that? So.
isn't that something that you would have, if you were a part of the group, you'd have power over when negotiating for what your
Right, but
area
none of the
needs?
7 municipalities that have a ladder right now are gonna wanna give it up and hurt their score, That's just my
Right.
only thought, like,
But I wonder if that gets written into any type of agreement that
Sure.
like your score can't decrease
Yep.
due to loss of work. But if you're a contracted
Yep.
outside, then
And-
that very well.
And
could
on
be
the
a-
other hand of that, joined in a district where you're picking up on, career staff and more staff, it's gonna help your ISO score on the other side. So it's like it's a give and take too.
I guess for us, knowing that like moving towards having paid, career staff is the model that likely we would be going into in some some capacity.
Mhm.
Maybe that is something that would
When
help
you
our
get
area out.
a big group like this, it seems to me it's very easy to get into a power play. And where some people object to something and other people say yes, and some people say no, and then what happens? Does the whole thing fall apart, or somebody is gonna be the head chiefy weefy and he's gonna be the boss, or what?
Most of the time that these districts face problems is financing.
Yeah.
So Oconomowoc, I think it's, what is that called? Western Lakes. So Western Lakes formed one consolidated district. And the first year they had to go back to referendum and ask for more money because it was more expensive than what they thought. So that's where most of them run into problems, is that the cost is more significant than they planned for.
And we're gonna be telling the people in our community that we may be paying money into some other place.
Mhm. That we don't have much control over.
Yeah.
It's like I said, we wanted to make it aware, everybody aware of it,
Yeah.
transparency, and, if those wants to participate and get information, I don't think it's.
Yeah, I was surprised to see it actually, but really surprised me. Because like I said, if it works, why would we fix it?
I agree. The more information that we know, that we don't want this is good too,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Information, like Cindy said, information gathering to,
Right, I mean, you don't do a study and then like just automatically assume that that's what you're gonna do. I think
Right.
Just need information to make sure that
this is not what we
this is,
want.
yeah, that might be the answer.
Yeah.
And Sun Prairie is not part of the study. Because I know someone said Sun Prairie and that's not part of this.
It seems to me that somebody should go to look and see what it's all about. It should be somebody from the fire department.
You've been in contact, but I don't know if you're gonna go to
We've talked
that
to-
meeting.
We've been invited, I think we've been invited.
Been invited.
I don't know.
Do you have time to go? I mean, I think it'd be valuable from, I don't know, maybe.
We might send somebody. Said we're not taking a stance one way or the other, whether we
Good.
support it or not support
Right,
it.
right.
It's-
But more information to,
See what other people are
Yeah.
doing and,
Mhm.
just.
Yeah.
what's
Well, they're
going
really
on
doing
in that
nothing yet,
area.
right? I
Right,
mean-
that's true. They're doing nothing yet.
I mean, some of them have already paid, so they're already in the middle.
Are you serious? Really?
Study, yeah. I mean, most of them, I think all of them have so far,
I
right?
think they're waiting on.
I think it's important to explain why the fire department isn't taking a stance on it, and it's really affects the way that the fire department is organized and operates and contracts with this district. So it's not appropriate for us to provide a recommendation to you guys. It would be genuinely a conflict for us to provide you a recommendation.
It's also a municipality decision on whether to join the study, which, so like I said, we have it on our agenda for Monday. I don't know if the town will do the same or not.
I haven't decided yet, to be quite honest. I just, I I dislike giving away, or potentially giving away control that we have had and maintained for over 100 years. And I think for those, some of you aren't on EMS commission at all, but it kind of brings to mind the trials and tribulations between Cambridge, the town of Oakland, Lake Mills, all that with the EMS districts and their consolidation, and they're breaking apart and asset sales, and it is a total mess over there. And also closer to home, the whole idea with Sun Prairie and Marshall and Medina and the town of Sun Prairie and
Well, it wasn't a lot of fun when the village pulled out of our police force also. That was not fun.
What year was that?
10 years ago now, I think, wasn't it, or 8, 9 years?
Was the
So-
town, just a question for you, was the town invited to this?
No,
So the town's not even part of it? They weren't
Correct.
asked- They're not asking?
No, there was no communication between
They just went to
the
the
village administrator and when he learned about it or whatever. I think it's a cities and villages thing. I
He
think.
sent it to you.
Huh?
He sent it to you. Matt said right away.
how do you know
I
that?
did not-
So I was copied on the email.
Oh.
I
did
guess
not
my
see
question
that.
was, it wasn't, this consortium never contacted the town,
Oh, no.
No,
so. So they didn't want the town.
But how did,
they don't know we're
how did they
involved.
get to the village then without the town? Because that would be.
Because of the fact that some of those other districts don't have the same type of, some of the other fire districts and EMS districts have a relationship similar to what we have with Pleasant Springs. They write us a nice check every year and we do what we do for them, but they don't have any official input, except for when it comes to contract time, and that's the way a lot of the other districts are. They just write a check to Fitchburg and, or the town of Oregon or these other townships. So it's not quite as same type of organization we have here, I guess.
And we're a lot bigger than most, townships, actually, that we're talking about.
People wise, yeah.
Yeah,
And to your point too, you've also mentioned your bill now. So we've been talking about the fire side, but I would assume that you wouldn't be looking at just fire, you'd be looking at EMS if you're talking about doing this, so. Now you've gotta have Deerfield involved, if they are actual owners of Deer Grove. So that's, you'd have to discuss with them too, what their interest is in participating.
It just doesn't stop you dragging somebody else in. You just keep.
Correct. And then if you bring Deerfield EMS in there, you bring Deerfield Fire in.
Mhm.
So it's gonna keep growing, I would assume, if we kept,
Say no.
Which is what it kind of sounded like this started out as, because it was just Fitchburg or
Yeah.
Verona and Fitchburg or
Pittsburgh
Fitchrona
and,
and,
yep,
Oregon?
Pittsburgh and Verona already share an ambulance, so it
Right.
made sense for them to talk about consolidating their fire and EMS, because they're right next to each other, they already share the ambulance.
Have you guys talked to Chief Lang? I know he's on right now, but have you had the opportunity to talk to him about the study and how it affects Deer Grove?
About this, what we're talking about here?
Mhm.
No, I haven't. This is the first discussion I'm having with anybody tonight. And,
but what are you guys gonna do on Monday night? You're gonna decide what?
no, whether they're
No,
gonna
with
listen
them.
to a presentation, they said.
Maybe
Fine.
this-
Oh, is there
Just
somebody
that-
coming down to talk to you guys, or?
We asked the consultant, McMahon, to come and be available for questions. So it'll be a discussing.
And they're from Wisconsin or from somewhere else?
They're from Illinois, I think, or are they from Wisconsin? Oh, no, that might be.
I think
somewhere
it was,
else.
from what I read, and I could be wrong,
McMahon
I
is-
thought I read that. Wisconsin based.
Yeah, they are Wisconsin.
But in full transparency, all chiefs and the town and the village were notified. There's an email from April 9th about this.
Okay.
and that's the first.
That's the
The
first that the
village.
village found out about it. Matt immediately passed it on to everyone. He knew that they had called him and you had already talked to him. We immediately passed it on to the town as well.
Well, Kim sure never got it.
Kim got it.
And you know that positively?
I'll show it to you right here if you'd like to look.
No, I mean, it's entirely possible. I couldn't help.
It really isn't that the point, that the town got it from the village. This consortium that never contacted the town.
No, that's true.
And again, the thing that, and I know we haven't talked about it tonight because we're a fire commission, but the idea of losing potential control of our EMS, that to me is a hard no. And,
If I was Matt and I got it, it would have been gone in the garbage.
That's not his role though
Yeah,
either.
well,
So
his role seems to be.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
So if they're coming Monday night to your guys's, we can, obviously, we have our own town board meeting, so we will, I'd be committed to watching your film and we can talk about it at our next town board meeting. And I would encourage everybody at a later date to watch the village's film.
just sort of let it go till next meeting, or?
Yeah, I'm sure this is gonna be talked about until such time as, there's nothing to talk about anymore.
Thank you for bringing that up about EMS. That was a
Mhm.
thought
Yeah.
I had too early on and I forgot to ask.
I sort of looked at that was part of the deal. Actually, they'd become part of the fire department or something.
It would all become the district, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
district. And that's
Wow.
again, so
McMahon and Associates are out of Neenah, Wisconsin.
Okay,
That's
thank
what
you
it
for
says right
finding
here.
that.
What was that?
They're from Neenah.
Oh, they are.
They're Wisconsin.
Nina.
Yeah.
Jesus. Do you agree with that? We talk about it next meeting then? You know, you guys do what you do, and if we can watch it, we can watch it.
And you can see what questions come up and how they summarize it.
That'll be good information, for sure.
I'm pointing, but I'm not pointing, sorry. You assume the chair next month. Are you you're not gonna be on fire? Okay. A village trustee will be the chair next month, and so you will be,
Will you make the next month's agenda and then will you appoint the chair?
yes,
you guys vote on it.
yeah,
Yeah, so you'll put the chair, vice chair, secretary, whatever you have on there.
third chair.
But I think that because the fire commission isn't gonna make a decision on whether to join the study, it's the municipality is all separate. So I don't even know if it needs to come back, if that's the question.
Well,
Well, just information.
Sharing
I-
information,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think sharing
across, yeah.
information. This committee should be advised of what the
And
town
it's-
is doing and the village is doing.
So your thought is, if you wanted to be part of this study, you're saying the village would be part of the study. And if the town said they didn't want to be part of the study, you wouldn't care. Is that what you're saying?
Not that I don't care, but I think, the municipalities have to make their own decisions in order to join this. So you would have a contract with the consultants, a separate contract. There wouldn't be a joint one, is my understanding of it.
But that's something we can ask,
Yeah.
But yes, we can
Consultants,
ask them on Monday too, of whether it would be a joint.
But how do you make
But then,
a decision if you're the study? Like, okay, if you commit your equipment or this equipment that, the point is that it's joint between village.
point. So this would be just whether or not to write a check to have them,
I guess
tell us
that's,
what they
it's,
want.
yeah, it's
or
financial.
what's best for us.
Right.
And then after that result were to come out, we'd go yay or nay. I mean, it's,
All right, that I understand.
So it's pretty far down the road, but I think like what you're kind of asking is like, let's say that the village participates and they decide that they want to join this district and the district actually comes to fruition, but the town doesn't. Then that scenario would involve, you guys would have to liquidate the assets because the village and town own everything in that building together, except for the two tenders, which are owned only by the town. And then you'd have to split the liquidation
Yeah.
based on your percentage.
We've
of
done it once
equalized
before with the
value at
village.
time That they're purchased along with all the equipment. So that's what it would look like.
Right, that's what I
Yeah,
figured.
this is,
I've got a question along with that, though. If the town forms their own fire department, the village wouldn't be attached to the district.
Correct, but the town would have to buy out the village's portion of anything they own.
Yeah.
So if the village owns 63% of this engine 3, then the town would have to pay out. If they wanted to keep that truck, they would have to buy out the village's.
So say they
Sure.
do that, though, but they'd
They
go
could do that. It's just,
But I really hope it wouldn't come to that, because I think, we're working hard to repair the relationship between the town and the village. And a move like that would just really sever and cause more friction. I'm not for that. at all.
And in the study, you might get a good number, but if the town would say, no, we don't want to participate in it, within the numbers that everyone went on, they're kind of skewed. You're no longer, they're gonna be different because we're not gonna be part of it. It's gonna be a chunk of the budget that they're not gonna obtain.
Like you said,
And then-
like the biggest limitation is if there isn't continuity between the geographical regions, doesn't make sense to have, to join that.
That's
So I mean,
definitely-
if any number of these
Correct.
pieces don't fall into. like,
And now
it's not
all we're
gonna
doing
make
is
any
talking
sense.
about fire right now.
Yeah, we're not including E EMS.
Eric's got 3 ambulances, okay? Because we have probably one of the largest geographical districts, plus our contracted areas, outside of, or not quite outside, but close to outside of the county. That,
And maybe the study doesn't make
Yeah,
sense, but I think we need the information and they need an answer, and I'm a data purist. I go on all the data to make decisions.
I just,
Technically, if the town doesn't participate, then the village will not connect to the district in any location.
Mhm.
And then maybe the village.
They have to
region's
connect
a
to,
moot point.
the only place to connect to the district right now is through the town, so if the town didn't participate right now, the village would connect to Stoughton or McFarland.
yeah, that's
There
correct.
would be a gap there. And the contact with Pleasant Springs right now, and it's split up between us, McFarland and Stoughton. But that doesn't mean that Pleasant Springs is gonna just automatically go to this new district either. So there's a lot of spots where we connect through Pleasant Springs.
Mhm.
Faith is here, then she's probably not wanting to speak for their municipality without information, but that's another thing that has to be considered too is, there's a municipality between Stoughton and McFarland and, I don't know.
On the other hand, maybe they join the group
Correct,
and we
they
don't have
might
that
join too.
contract anymore.
Yeah.
But one of the outcomes was planning for growth in the PA study, which
Yeah.
includes looking at other municipal services and cooperative efforts. So, I mean, a very well, an outcome of that study might be
There's-
to then do this study as well.
There's a million different scenarios that could play out between here and there, and my understanding is the village is trying to go and maybe get more information on it.
That is literally all it is. It's not making decisions tomorrow.
I mean, if you think about the Fitzroy versus Oregon, I mean, Fitzroy EMS is the monster in the boardroom right now. I mean, compared to Oregon EMS, they've got their way smaller group of paramedics compared to Fitzroy with 3 stations and where they do 2,000 calls a year. I mean, it's just double digits plus every day. So for some of the other smaller, it might make sense to use an old Star Trek thing, be assimilated by the Borg, so to speak, as far as, the bigger taking over the smaller, but again, I'm gonna say equals to equals, I will listen, I will keep an open mind and listen, but I'll let it go with that.
I just, one last thing is just that, looking at the cost, granted, this is Fitchburg, they're not to exceed 65,000.
I think the village would be around between 7 and 10, and they were anticipating town would be around 2 to 3.
That is for what though?
That's for the contract agreement. That's what Fitchburg is paying, no less, they're not gonna pay anything more than 65,000 for their study. And Cindy said that, would you say it'd be 7 to 10 for the village?
And yeah, 2 to 3, I think, for the town.
So I was like, that's why I brought this up, is that
Yeah.
if you're gonna spend that money, I mean, we could make a decision even before without spending the money, say, yea or
Yeah.
nay. So.
One thing I'd be
That's just-
curious to get the answer to, does that mean all the mutual aid agreements go away? it's a rhetorical question. I mean, it's just, right now, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Well, now we have a contract. Let's see, it'll cost you X amount of dollars to get our engine because we're not, whatever.
They would have to be redrafted to reflect the new name of the district. So then who knows what happens when they're redrafted, you know?
But ultimately, protecting this area and the district is the most important thing. So maybe getting more information so that we are making the right decisions and protecting, those types of relationships is important.
Theoretically, we have a mutual aid agreement with the city, correct? Sort of.
Yeah, I think so. I think we do. They're on our box cards. So
What's that?
they're on our box cards for box line. So you can Stoughton is on our card. Hazmat's a different scenario. So Madison's the only hazmat team in the county. That's a level 1 hazmat team. And what they do is all the other municipalities that would be calling them, because it doesn't pay to have all these hazmat teams. Every year, Dane County Chiefs pay for their workers' comp that it costs to provide the coverage to the rest of the county. So every member of Dane County Fire Chiefs pays a portion of with City of Madison's workers' comp. Cover their hazmat team if they're called out to one of our areas. And it breaks down to like $200 a year or something like that. It's not a significant number, but it'd be a lot more expensive to have your own hazmat team and keep them certified and have all the equipment.
I would like to try to explain that to somebody in the town. That we'd be better off doing something like that. The taxpayers, that we would be looking at something as foolish as spending money somewhere else that isn't gonna make us better. I just don't, I can't understand you guys even wanna look at it, honest to God.
Well, we're elected to look at
Right,
these
yeah.
things and decide whether or not we should
We're
look at
elected to
them,
take
so-
care of the taxpayers
Well,
of
and
the
then we can say no
village
to
and
the
the town.
study,
Yeah,
right? I mean, that's why we're here to
But-
say no.
but we're not talking about the study. We're talking about sending somebody to look at maybe being in the study.
Right, and so the
Right,
elected
right.
officials should make the decision,
Yeah,
not a
correct.
staff member.
Correct. Well, that was a good conversation.
Well, that's why we're elected to.
Well, you should come to all the
Give our-
village meetings.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. Well, I think that's our
Maybe
last item, isn't it?
I guess,
What's the bottom line or not? Where are we at?
well,
They're gonna
I'll
go
make, I'll
over.
make one unrelated comment, and then if nobody else has anything, we'll just kind of take a breath and move on to the next item, if that's okay with everyone. I mean, to me, I'm almost equating this to if, again, going back out to California, LA County Sheriff's Department provides coverage for everything, it seems like. So the smaller municipal police departments just kind of get absorbed and, and get rid of local control, which everybody pushes for local control. So anyway,
Yeah, this is all true, but when we lived in Iowa, something very similar happened and it was the outcome was not positive. It's what we're discussing tonight, that locals lose control and communities fall apart.
all right, number 8, discuss and consider next meeting date and the agenda items.
Can I say just one thing? If you're reading through McMahon's thing, and at the end it says scaling of the project, to the degree that a municipality is added to the study earlier and prior work does not have to be repeated, additional costs can be avoided or minimized. But if a municipality is added to the study later and work has to be repeated or duplicated, the cost may be greater. Fee adjustments would be documented via a contract amendment. And additional work will be charged at an hourly rate of approximately $180 an hour.
That's a deal.
It is estimated, depending on the size of the municipality/department and how many departments are added, the additional work would range from $9,000 to $30,000. Something to think about.
Is that like, where is that at? In what?
It's at the very end of the McMahon report.
Oh, the McMahon
The
report.
ma-
The
page
McMahon
4.
report. Oh, that,
Right, because if you contract with them to be to give you the information that, that's why they're wanting everybody to get on the same page and do it all together, not drag in, Stoughton drag in next month and you guys drag in the month later. That's what that paragraph speaks to,
Yeah, that's costly.
which means a lot of money out of your pocket.
Election of officers for next meeting. I'll put on there, not for discuss and consider, but just discuss what we learned from Monday night's meeting for the chief's report.
I have one new one that's gonna be information only because you'll have new appointed members.
What's that?
We're gonna have a new one and we'll probably try to do it every May when you have new appointed members. That's gonna be information and education, just based on how the district operates or district runs, and its contract agreements with the district, with the fire department, with Pleasant Springs. We've got information on that and we'll just try to present that every May when you bring in your new committee members.
Do you want them meeting with you separately or you're gonna do it during the commission
We're gonna
meeting?
do it during the commission. And we'll just we'll put it in the packet if that's okay.
Sent a copy of that to Kim and Cameron already. They both reviewed it. Anything with that? Stuff left contracts a lot.
Yep. So with that, we've got the first meeting in May. We'll just try to do that every year with the new commission.
I think that's great to have it in the packet, so then the other village board members that aren't on the commission can also view it.
Mhm.
New member orientation, for lack of a better word, I guess it'd probably be. From your side, is there gonna be 1 or 2 or 4, 1?
One.
Anything else?
Well, that was night.
Hmm?
What night are we gonna pick? May.
Oh, yes, we gotta
right.
figure out a date, because
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day is 4th
Oh.
Monday.
So Tuesday, or
Tuesday is tough because you guys do training, right?
what's that?
They do training on
Oh.
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Plan commission for the town.
We'll have a budget review meeting then.
28th? Thursday?
I have Parks at 5, but I should be done by 6:30.
Band concert. I'm not on it, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. The 28th?
Works.
28th.
This is on the 19th.
Huh?
19th?
Board of review for the town.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So then,
28th.
No, 28th,
what, landfill on the 28th too, then, is that?
Yes, we can make it on the 28th, saying that's because we purposely did not set a date for landfill because we needed to figure out what was going on here also, so. And I didn't want to do it in the vacuum, but seeing we got some of the landfill committee members here, so. All right. Next meeting, May 28th, 6:30 PM. Be there or be square. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We are out. Thank you.
We've got like, before the rain comes, if you want to see the fire event prop.
Oh,
What, rain almost here?
That prop.
It looks like, I mean, we've got probably 15, 20 minutes before the rain comes, if you want to go over and see it.
Can I see it?
Yeah,
Oh, you crouched, you were.
I thought it was coming from.
I've seen it already.
Oh, yeah.
Come on into the building.
All right. Yeah. I'll be right
I
over.
live in it.
Faith, do you want to come over and see that prop? It's down on the floor, behind the fire station.